fast forwarding a few chapters, we have chapter 6, the intimately oppressed, or just intimately oppressed. This chapter is mainly discussing women's roles in early American society around pre-Civil War as the Industrial Age was getting a kickstart. It goes on to describe, or Howard Zinn goes on to describe how women's roles were different than Native American women's roles. And Native women had high respect just as mothers, and they were just in a higher place in their society than European and future American women. Colonial women had respect in their homes, but in society they're kind of irrelevant. They didn't really matter. Men and women of color obviously were just regarded as subhuman. Women often had respect, as already said, in their homes, but they weren't necessarily due respect. Like, it wasn't frowned upon to not respect women. And women often ran education, made clothes, blankets, stuff like that. And women were kind of starting to realize that, hey, maybe this isn't fair. And some women decided they wanted to start standing up to this fact, but it definitely wasn't a unified front. It was also not really attractive to be involved in this movement, so many women were just acceptive of their place in society and thinking it wasn't really going anywhere. And then there were others that wanted it to change, though obviously without being unified, you're most likely not to get anything done in the battle for equality. Their wages were vastly lower. They mostly, only jobs they could get outside of home were spinning mills, which even now we can recognize probably wasn't that fun of a job. And it wasn't until about the 18th century women actually started coming together, started doing big walkouts and strikes, and actually started to stand up for their rights that they didn't necessarily have yet. Unlike Chapter 1 of Columbus and the Indians, I was pretty aware of this issue, how women were oppressed in the early American ages. But it also made me more curious to see how in-depth how women got all their rights, and I knew I would see that later in this book.